Hey, my name is Nurin Darwisyah binti Muhammad Faizal and I am currently a medical student here in Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM. So as fellow medical students or generally people in the healthcare profession, I think there is one thing that we all have in common, whether we realize it or not, that is that we all have this sense of selflessness. Sometimes to the point where we neglect our own basic needs like eating, sleeping, and much more. This brings me to the topic of my talk today, which is helping yourself to help others. According to Oxford Languages, selflessness means the act of concerning more with the needs and wishes of others than with one's own. Basically putting other people ahead of yourself. And when you're in the medical field, it's actually something that we were taught to do. Since entering medical school, the first thing that we were taught to do was take the Hippocratic Oath, where we have to swear that we will uphold specific ethical standards. That includes doing no harm, treating your patients even if they are your enemies, and so much more which revolves around being selfless. Although it's a very important thing that all healthcare personnel and future healthcare personnel have this sense of selflessness, of course, we don't want nurses or future doctors who do it just for the money. There is a fine line that we should draw. Of course, being selfless is important, but there is only so much we can do if we ourselves are not meeting our own basic human needs. Thus brings us to why we have to help ourselves before helping other people. If I could tell a little bit story about myself, is that I was diagnosed with major depression in my semester 1 of year 2 medical school. That period was a tough one for me. I was not motivated to get out of bed. I didn't even eat, which brings me to lose 3 kgs in 2 days. And I end up meeting a psychiatrist and psychologist. Throughout the journey of recovering, I have openly posted my journey recovery on my social media. A lot of my friends have asked me why I was really open about posting about my mental health on social media. Because we are living in a society where we think that mental health or being mentally ill is quite taboo, and we were raised to think that it's something that we have to hide and not show it to other people. Of course, it's one of my insecurities, but opening it to the world means that I am opening chances for other people to get help as well. I have spent years of my life wondering if what I felt was normal or if I should see a doctor, but I was too afraid. But once I got my diagnosis, I knew that I should help those who need it as well. So my depression stemmed from the fact that I felt like I wasn't enough. Like I wasn't being selfless enough. I wasn't this perfect medical student who got all A's, who excelled all my exams. And yeah, that led to even worse circumstances, where in the end, I actually had to meet a psychiatrist. One thing that I could relate about this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a theory of motivation, which states that 5 categories of human needs will dictate an individual's behavior. It is represented in this pyramid, where physiological needs being the lowest and most abundant need of the human being, following with safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. During my period of depressive episode, I didn't even manage to meet my own physiological needs because I wasn't even eating, I wasn't even going to sleep right, and I just basically didn't meet my own physiological needs. And in turn, I wasn't able to deliver the best as a medical student. So that's just a story about me. And in a research done in 2015, published by the Pakistan Journal of Medical Sciences, there was actually a specific observational study conducted on 234 UKM students to see the level of stress. The results, overall stress prevalence was 49%. This concludes to almost half of the respondents in the survey. Stress prevalence and stress level in UKM was actually pretty high. In addition, stress doesn't only affect how we react or our mood, it also affects our physical health. Stress causes aches and pains, headaches, muscle tension, and even high blood pressure. Back to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if we are not able to meet our own physiological needs, it's going to be quite challenging for us to provide other people their physiological needs. That is in the side of a medical student. For doctors, housemen who are actually working and treating with patients, the consequences could be even worse. The news has shown that fatigued and tired doctors are actually fearing the safety of the patients. because they fear that they might do fatigue-related mistakes. A study also showed that 51% out of 808 respondents that consist of medical doctors said that they experienced fatigue due to overworked working hours. And the number has increased from 46% in 2019 to 48% in 2020 and 51% in 2021. 71% of the respondents felt that they would face consequences if they tried to stand up for themselves. If we could see the relation between these things, we are not actually practicing the act of selflessness or the Hippocratic Oath itself, because we are in fact putting the patients in danger, because we are at risk at contributing to fatigue-related mistakes. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are actually many ways of helping ourselves. The first one being admitting that you need help. If you are tired, admit that you are tired. If you think you actually need professional help, you have to admit it to yourself first. And admitting that you need help is probably one of the hardest things to do, because especially as people in the medical field, we are used to helping others, not helping ourselves. But I think it's one thing that we need to change. Be aware of what our body is actually saying to us. We are so good at telling what other people's body is doing to themselves. It's time to take our own medicine. Listen to your needs. If you need rest, then go for it. If you need someone to talk to, find someone. Don't let the stress or the tiredness or your selflessness build up to the point where it will overflow and cause an even worse scenario. Thank you.